You're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Only one place to start, and that's Lagos, Nigeria, all about NSAS. Now, the Lagos state government has released its white paper on the reports by the NSAS panel that investigated the Lekki tollgate incident of October the 20th last year. Now, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu faulted the panel's reports that 9 persons were killed at the tollgate when soldiers stormed the protest ground to disperse the protesters. Now, one of the recommendations of the panel was also rejected.
In the statement titled Highlight of the Lagos Government White Paper on the Lekki Incident Investigation, the government described the claim of the panel that 9 persons were shot dead as, and I quote, assumptions and speculations. Now, in a speech delivered on Tuesday, Mr. Sanwo-Olu said it is regrettable that the panel's work and the leakage of an unauthorized version of the report have generated much tension. Sadly, and I quote, a deep wound has been reopened.
This month of December, I'll be leading a walk of peace to herald the healing of our land. Let me therefore use this occasion to extend an open invitation to all of our youths, members of the diplomatic corps, civil society groups, students, gentlemen of the press, media, and other stakeholders to join me. I want Folarin Falana, popularly called Fowls. I want Debo Adebayo, Mr. Macaroni. I want an activist lawyer, Mr. Dele Farotimi. I would want Temitope Majekoju. I would want Mr. Segun Awosonya. I want Adetong, just Detong, who draws me every day. I want legendary son of Fela Seun Kuti. I will also want the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Akim Odunosi. I want the Commander of the RRS, CSP Yinka Egbeyemi, to join me on this historic march for our dear Lagos. Nobody will build this city for us. No nation will build the state for us. Let us show the world who we are. No foreign media.
All right, so quite interesting. I use the word interesting quite lightly. Comments from Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Right.
Because on one hand, the Lagos State government looks like it's rejecting some of the claims or the reports of the panel that they instituted themselves for this inquiry, and there's been lots of talk about this white paper when it comes out, or the leaked report that when it came out. And it seems the narrative is that, no deaths, according to the Lagos State government, happen, whether 9 or not, at tollgate. Right. On the other hand, almost like extending a olive branch to Lagos State youths and Nigerians is calling Falana and Fowls, and Mr. Macaroni to come out for what they've termed a peace walk for healing. What are we healing if nothing was destroyed or lives were not lost? I think that's the big question.
Why are we having that kind of walk? What's the cause for the walk? That's the question a lot of people are coming out and pondering upon. But joining us this morning is journalist and public affairs analyst Goddy Ofose. And Goddy Ofose, welcome to the program. I mean, you heard this story. I mean, you saw the leaked reports. We read it. You read it. But tell us how journalists are reacting to the governor's speech now that the much-awaited white paper has been released.
Good morning, Oluchi. Good morning, Oluchi. Nice to be here again after a long hiatus. Let me thank the governor first for his effort in trying to ensure that the NSAS issue isn't buried completely. It's the only state, again, that has shown good intentions, good interest in this matter. Don't forget that the NSAS matter, the NSAS issue was not just Lagos issues. There were some issues in Abuja, Edo State, and some state capital, across the country. But only Lagos shows good intentions. That said, I think the white paper, as the governor in his statement said that the the leak paper actually opened and deepen an open wound. I think the white paper, in fact, will leave the wound unhealed for a long time. Will leave the on. Look, can you hear me?
Yes,
Go on,
we
Gordy.
can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
go
can.
on.
Will leave the wound. So again, you like cutting your nose to spite your face. Set
Gordy.
up a panel that did an investigation and came up with a recommendation. And in the other way, you turn around to reject the very crucial ingredients of that report, of that recommendation. It goes to show that you are only paying a lip service to a very serious issue. I don't know why the governor would, at the end of the day, says no one died, and he also wants to heal the land because it's like speaking from both sides of the mouth. Good, very good reactions to those gentlemen who said they were not participating in that work of peace because there is no. Robert Nestamale once said,
All right, Gordy, you just talked about the governor's speech describing using the term old wounds. When the governor comes out to use the term old wounds to describe the situation, but in the official statement, the government described the claim of the panel of the 9 people dying as assumptions and speculations. When you use assumptions and speculations on paper and you mention old wounds being opened, where do we draw the middle ground for this one? Yes, you might commend the Lagos State governor and the government for perhaps having good faith in this NSAS matter, but are we looking for good faith, or perhaps Nigerians, are they looking for good faith or justice?
I feel what we're looking for is obviously justice, whether it's a good faith or not. What Nigerians, what young people are looking for, they just because without justice, we can't prevent the occurrence of this in the future. So if we keep playing politics today, that means that we are only empowering the law enforcement officers or law enforcement agencies to do even worse than this in the nearest future. So in a country like this, I just read this morning that a very senior reporter of a very reputable media agency was suspended indefinitely because he interfered in his brother's, who was the governor of New York, interfered in his brother's case at that time. That's how serious country behaves. If you just a slap on the wrist of the security agencies and we all go home like that and everybody is quiet. In fact, even the governor himself is not safe. The president is not safe because if the security agencies could do that and go scot-free without any form of reprimand and everyone is quiet and people are coming out to give serious some very funny faces, massacre without bodies and the rest of it.
Right.
To show that.
Now, of course, I mean, the federal government has received the white paper we're made to accept or to believe by the governor. Looking at the initial reactions that show the unauthorized version, is there any hope for justice to be served?
Already, the federal government has already rejected it before he saw the report. He has already rejected it before the white paper. So there is no way that this federal government that we have, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, would accept it because it's lieutenant from the Minister of Information and the Minister of State Labor and Employment have already come out to reject the report. So whether it's and the rejection from the Lagos State government is as a result of their pressure too, from the federal government having come out to say that there was no death, there was no bodies, people were not killed on that day. But the things that we saw, what we saw, the incidences that happened, I mean, I broke down on that day as a human being watching it on TV on that day. So I felt it's very unfortunate that we are where we are today on this NSAS matter. It is very, 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 very regrettable, to say the least, because for me, whatever recommendations that the Lagos State has adopted, and let that the panel who did the investigation, who saw, who got testimonies, who got witnesses coming in and talked about it, who put that in their report when they saw it. It's not the Lagos State government that didn't do any investigation, that didn't sit to the panel. So coming out to say we don't want it, that means that in the future, when you set up a panel like this, nobody will be interested. Nobody will want to be there. Nobody will want to take you serious. So this is the bottom line of all of these things. It goes to show that all along, nobody can always trust Nigerian government, whether at the top level, at the state, or the local government.
All right. Thank you so much, Gaudio Ofose. Always a pleasure to have you and a delight once again on Breakfast Central.
Thank you once again. Right now, still staying on the story with the NSAS report. Now, some NSAS campaigners, including Folarin Falana, aka Fowls, and Debo Adebayo, that's Mr. Macaroni, Seun and Nikolakwo Kuti, have also rejected the invite by the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to a peace walk for the healing of Lagos in December. Now, the governor, in a speech on Tuesday on the Lekki shootings of October 20, 2020, said, and I quote, in December, I will be leading a walk for peace to herald the healing of our land. Now, let me use this occasion to extend an open invitation to all youths or members of the diplomatic corps, civil society groups, students, and the media, as well as other stakeholders, to join me. End of quote.
All right, so that's Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu calling members of the public in Lagos, the youth, civil society people, and also members of the media for a peace walk.
And some of the celebrities have come out to say, no, we're not going to accompany you for this peace walk, because a lot of Nigerians have not even had closure. They've not had closure.
Some people might be watching this around, not just in Africa, but also in diaspora, and say, for what?
Maka, why?
You know, why? And healing and peace walk when the government, even the federal government, has also distanced itself from the report, whether it was leaked or not, and the Lagos State government itself has pegged holes into this, NSAS report and made their own assumptions of it. So why would the Lagos State governor then call out people, go all the way, calling likes of Fowls?
Specifics, he was calling out names.
And why is he calling these people, why is he calling them out?
Now, let's not forget that Mr. Macaroni was one of the people who was taken into police custody when this protest happened in 2020. And he also came out to give his own ordeal of what he went through and what he saw while he was in police custody.
Many might look at it again, to play devil's advocate, like, okay, perhaps an olive branch from the Lagos State government and the Lagos State governor.
But people have not made peace with the report that is coming out.
Yes.
I mean, with that leaked report,
so the case of who should be handing out the olive branch? Should it be the Lagos State government, or perhaps
I'm waiting for you to complete that sentence. The who?
People of Lagos.
People of Lagos.
Because I guess this will really generate lots of talking points.
This is not the end of this story. I know this story, there will be more to come from this particular story. It's still developing.
All right, so there you have it. Celebrities have rejected the governor's proposal for a peace walk. In fact, the likes of Seun and Nikolakwo Kuti also released a video yesterday saying he rejected the peace walk and from Lagos State governor. So we're waiting to see how it all goes. So there'll be lots to follow on this one right here on Breakfast Central and indeed on News Central.